And the man running it was named Mr. Teeter, and hence Teeters. And after my dad died, he came down and he asked my mother to marry him over the garbage can.
Wait, I do remember
while
this.
she's going out to dump the garbage. And I'm like, what did you say? Because I'm thinking, yes. And she's like, I told him to get lost or whatever she said.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Mr. Teeter, we could be a part of Teeters?
Hi, Liz. You look good.
The other day, I said, if you had a nickel for every time, I said, how do I look?
I would be so rich.
Yeah, not really. I come out horribly vain, don't I? Yeah.
No, you don't.
Sometimes, yeah.
But you look great. But it's
Thank
funny,
you.
like, you know you look good.
No, I don't.
And so to
no
ask
one
it
does.
all the time.
Well, everyone, I feel like I know what I look like.
And
I like to hear you say, yes,
oh, God. You just don't really need that much approval. So it is interesting that you do.
Well, you're my
want to
person.
know.
I want to see what my person thinks about, the package. How's the package today? Okay. Yeah, that went south.
Wow.
But anyway,
good to see you.
You too.
You little cutie in pink.
Thank you, you little cutie in stripes. Get out of jail. What's up?
Get out of jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could think about how you always want to be told you look good and think about the way
No, I don't
you
always
tell
wanna
me
be
about,
told.
you were like, what's that necklace?
Well, I'm seriously.
You look like a pirate.
I don't understand the whole necklace situation. I don't. No, this is going to stay hidden until I need it later.
Would you don't have to be that judgy.
No, I don't have to be. It's just my choice.
So what do I do with that?
No, I'm teasing. I like to mess with you because you're so
Why?
easy. Because it's simply an easy game, and when I'm tired, easy comes my way fast.
So we're both a little
tired. We're rolling in strong, but a little bit on the weak side.
That's all right.
That's
We're going
good.
to power up.
We are going to power up.
We're going to power up.
We're going to pretend we have food.
We're in the studio,
I'm
of course.
hungry.
And she, was ill prepared because I've not been with you.
Yeah. For what, 48 hours?
Yeah, and so she's weak with hunger.
Well, yeah, that quinoa with the olive oil and sea salt did not get it. It was 2 weeks old after my
So
grandson
disgusting.
left his leftovers in my refrigerator. I'm like, oh, there's some quinoa.
She's like the pinnacle of
That's
health.
what I'll eat. Well, it's actually
that's-
healthy.
well,
It's
of course
grain,
it's
it's fiber,
healthy.
it's got a little protein in it.
Not enough. It's like a meal.
It's something that got me through to get me in this seat
You
right
don't
here.
seem like you're getting through. But we are going to talk about that. We are going to dive deep into, we're mid to late, medium plus life span.
Oh, okay. We're talking about age. Okay, I gotcha.
You're medium well.
I'm
a medium plus.
Definitely medium well. I'm actually old.
But you're not well done yet.
Yeah, I am kind of.
No, don't be cooked.
I'm not cooked.
You can stay on the burner.
That's right. I'm on the burner.
Yeah, so we're going to dive into a little bit of like nutrition and fuel and,
Yes.
kind of our tips, tricks, and how that has changed for us over the years.
Right.
And what we want to start with is kind of the taking Be Powerful and putting that into this context of food, diet, nutrition, wellness, fueling. So how do we, what are the suggestions? Where do we struggle? Eat to be powerful, because you can't be powerful if you don't fuel or eat to be powerful.
How about if you just want to eat to have fun because it tastes good?
Well, we do that.
Right. And I think you've got to find that combination of the power food that is also the delicious food that keeps you happy and keeps you joyful.
Yep.
So that's what I think that I've done and we've done together, is to really come up with a way of eating that is, for the most part, healthy. Not every single moment, but for the most part, very, very healthy, that I think is sort of a formula that we can help some mothers that are maybe struggling with that find.
For sure. And the first thing that kind of popped into my head, when you said that about that balance, is that, do you eat to live or live to eat? And I've always been on the side
That's a
of
good
live
question.
to eat a little bit. And I would think you would say eat to live.
I agree.
Like, I find more-
do.
yeah.
I eat to live. I mean, there's times I don't, but for instance,
Just
today,
overall, more than often.
It's in survival. Yeah. I mean,
Survival mode.
when I'm going for a snack, I'm like, I need to feel good because I have a lot to do. So what am I going to do? Am I going to eat a milkshake, or am I going to have some quinoa with maybe some lentils on top, or something more healthy, or healthy as in it makes me feel good. I'm always about feeling strong and feeling good. And I would always err on the side of feeling good as opposed to that moment of just excitement and that candy bar or whatever. Because I used to do that and I felt bad.
Yeah, like in the moment, you take the bite and it's delicious and it goes down, and then the sugar crash happens, and then you're hungry,
again because your blood sugar has just dropped 1,000 points. And yeah, and I lived my life that way for so long.
And when you're younger, you can a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, 20s,
sometimes I don't think I ate anything but sugar until I got to be like 21, 22. You know, it was
and
like,
that's not true. You told me you used to eat grass out of the yard.
well, I did used to eat grass, and because I did, and whatever was growing on the neighbor's trees.
Okay, so tell me. So you grew up in Concord.
Didn't we talk
know
about this
that
on the podcast?
I don't know about the food. No.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
So
well, growing up.
us.
Okay, it's very interesting, and which also
it's very interesting.
Why also probably I craved sugar. I needed food. Okay, so my mother was the world's worst cook, and she admitted it, and she came from another world's worst cook. So, you know, we had no substance of food. We had like niece's fried sausage or some kind of nonsense and whatever you could get out of a can. And I know it sounds that bad. It was that bad. We had white bread with whatever you put on white bread. I don't know. Anyway, so I had this housekeeper named Blanche Whitley, who would come every day to my house. And by the way, we were not rich. We just lived in Concord, and back in the 60s, people had people that came over and did your house.
Well, it sounds like based on the food choices so far, you weren't rich.
Yeah, we were not wealthy people. Anyway, getting to the point, once my breakfast was done, which I pretty much never ate because that didn't seem interesting to me, I was out of the house. I was scurried out of the house. And so I foraged for food in the neighborhood. One of my favorite things every single day, and I think this is why I'm never allergic to anything, is sour grass. Not even sure what that is in the real, thing, whatever grasses are called, but it was sour and it had like a sour kind of liquid to it, and it was chewy and it tasted good. And then I would move on to the neighbor's trees where we had plum trees. They were gorgeous. I mean, big round plums, and I would just like, now by the way, I'm stealing at this point because the only kind of trees we had in my house, which were great, we had 8 giant pecan trees. Again, I sound like I was rich. I wasn't. But pecans got old after a while. So we moved on. I moved on to anyway, the plums were in one yard. Okay. The green apples, God, they were good, were in another one. That's why I like sour fruit.
I know.
Because I ate it directly off the thing. And then there was also the scuppernong vine, which was in another neighbor's yard. And I mean, these people come after me. They'd yell, they'd say, you didn't call people on the phone, they just yell. And then they yell down at my house, get Liz out of my yard, Sounds like a mad dog,
You're just
foraging.
A scavenger.
So, which got me all the way back to if I got any money, which I did. I made 50 cents a week mowing my grass, which was kind of good money because I could live on penny candy. At the local Teeters. When Harris Teeter, it was called Teeters.
Literally?
Literally, it was called Teeters. Mr.
Was
Teeter,
it a small shop or a big grocery?
It was like the size of this room. And all they had was like penny candy and maybe some milk and bread.
Okay.
And the man running it was named Mr. Teeter, and hence Teeters. And after my dad died, he came down and he asked my mother to marry him. Over the garbage can.
Wait, I do remember that.
While she's going out to dump the garbage. And I'm like, what did you say? Because I'm thinking, yes. And she's like, I told him to get lost or whatever she said.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Mr. Teeter asked you, we could be a part of Teeters? I could have all the candy I ever wanted.
Wait, but you had to be like 17 years old.
I was 16 when my dad died.
Right.
I'm still into this. I was still like, yeah, we can get some Teeter candy over here anytime we want. We can have it in the pantry. I can be in the house more often, right?
That's hilarious.
Anyway, I just jumped all the way through. But yeah, so I came up,
You came up on sour grass, plums, green apples, and candy.
I think it saved me. It saved me. No, and let me get back. My mother was not. I didn't come from an abusive family. She was a terrible cook. And I mean, who wants to eat chicken livers? Oh, they smell horrid, by the way.
Gross.
Yeah. So anyway, now and then I'd get a little. We'd have my snack that I would have at night would be a big head of iceberg lettuce with Gerard's Italian dressing, just dumping it all over and just eating the lettuce like an apple.
Yeah.
So
you do still have those very rustic.
Yeah.
habits when it comes to
do.
food. Like I literally could just hand you a little wedge of cabbage and you just,
No, it's true. I love that. And I love raw food. I don't need it cooked. I'm not used to having food cooked. So I used to eat it. Yeah.
Sour.
Yeah, sour.
Tart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's not my flavor profile. So it's,
No, it's not.
it's fabulous that you do like the
Yes.
food that I cook for you.
You that you cook really healthy, good food.
Yeah.
And I maintain that eating out of people's yards brought a really healthy habit. I'm
think
eating
it
fresh
did.
food.
I think it did.
I also ate, they're dirty. I got all the bacteria that I needed to be immune to. I'm not allergic to anything on the planet. So life is good.
No, I think that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
compare what you just listed that you grew up eating to what, kids these days are rummaging for in the pantry.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's in a processed package. So even if you were eating less than, ideally nutritious food, it was real. And if it wasn't, it was less processed at least.
Except for the penny candy, which I was 100% addicted to, because if I could get my 50 cents in there and then have to bank it. How many days? Let's go 7 into 50. I'm like, how many days have I got for, candy? So
talk about that sugar candy addiction throughout your life.
Yeah.
Where does that pull the thread?
Yeah. Well, I did until really into my probably mid-20s. Just loved it. I mean, it's 100% addictive. If you don't think sugar's addictive, try to stop it. Okay. And I literally had to go cold turkey. And that's when I probably turned 50, started doing Hilliard Shooting Method, came up with that. So all my life I was just like, sugar. Yes, sugar. And so the unhealthy habits I had as a fashion model was I would eat gummy bears instead of food.
Ugh.
And I actually came home one time with a heart palpitation from just not having nutrients in my body. So
it's rough.
You can push your body to some depths of badness, because I've been there and done that. And no, I never had a weight problem because I didn't eat I ate bad food when I was eating it. But that doesn't mean it was any healthier than being obese.
Right.
It was just unhealthy and was causing real pain in my body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now if you see sugar, how often would you say you eat sugar?
Never.
And I know this. Yeah.
Okay, you do know it. I mean,
never is incorrect.
And it is incorrect. And when I do,
close.
I love to eat. For instance, we go to our new favorite restaurant, Rada, and they have this. You better get it back, guys. You just dropped it off the.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't even eat dessert, but it's a panada. What is it called? Don't laugh at me.
Panna cotta.
Yeah. I don't even know what that means, but it comes out with this creamy thing with honeycomb and then some salty stuff to it. And it's all healthy. I mean, it's not healthy, but it's all natural pretty much. Of course, there's some refined sugar in it, no doubt. But I get that now and then, and it doesn't give me the side effect that if I had a Snickers bar, it'd take me 48 hours to get over that. I'm not kidding. Candy.
It does.
It would take me down. Usually makes me sick.
Yeah, and when as you've gotten older and you do have a little bit, does it get worse? The recovery,
I just don't eat it. I don't eat. I don't like it that much. I don't like it enough. And really and truly, to come off of sugar, you have to come off. Or I had to come off cold turkey. But I've always said to people, it's hard because remember the study about the rats and the cocaine? The rats always go to the sugar. They don't go to the cocaine. They've studied this, and sugar is just highly addictive and bad for us. So to do it, some people have just I can't quit eating my favorite cookie. Then eat half of it and throw the rest away. Just take it slowly and get so your body reacts to it. Right. When you start to react to things that make you feel bad, you question it. You go, well, what makes me feel better? Well, maybe I'll have and this sounds really awful because if I'm a sugar addict, I don't want to hear this, a bite of either plain yogurt or cottage cheese or something with a little protein in it that fills my tummy. But it also boosts my energy and it's full of protein.
Or the sweet swaps. If it is really something sweet, then the fruit.
Good point. Right.
Dried or whole or frozen or whatever it is to kind of give it that swap.
Right. And we're talking about refined sugar. We are not talking about fruit. I live on fruit. Live on it.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep. That's something I probably don't get
watermelon.
Enough of just grabbing a whole fruit. But you have an apple every single day.
I have an apple every morning of my life.
Every single day.
Every morning. Yeah.
I mean, that's our joke.
Yeah.
When you say, when I say I'm going to the grocery store, do you need anything? Like, it goes without saying apples. Like, you don't
Pink
have to
ladies
say it.
specifically, because they've got a little bit of sour in them. Anything a little bit sour.
Perfect
I'm
combo.
in.
Perfect combo.
Yeah.
And I'm not a sweet tooth
No, you're not.
edge, but if I do ever go into it, I do those things like if there is a cake for an occasion in the house, like the
Yes.
sliver, and then you've eaten so much and you feel so gross. I'm
Yeah.
like, gross. And so I just reserve it for special occasions and like really try to go, there's my piece, and really enjoy it versus always like ending with a sweet treat. Because if I do, then I'll always want it. Like,
Right.
people can very, moderately engage in like a piece of dark chocolate every night, and I just can't. So I
Yeah.
just leave it out of the house,
Right.
so I don't eat it, and then occasionally, if I do, then it's okay.
And speaking of dark chocolate, what is it, 80% or higher?
least.
It's really good for you.
Yep.
It's really good for you. The cacao is healthy. I just
Yeah.
don't like it. I want to like
know.
it, but I don't really like it that
Right,
much.
and so there's no point to use calories on something you're not going to enjoy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of my MO about that. Like, is it worth it?
Right.
And because I'm somebody who does like a lot of foods and a lot of different foods,
Right.
and I live to eat on that a little bit more
and
of
I
the
eat to live.
side, then I have to watch it
Yes.
to make those choices.
So once they've made the choice to come off of the sugar binge a little bit, and really once you come off a little bit and start adding something that gives you the same satisfaction and makes you feel better, you will stick to it.
Yep.
And even if you go back, you'll go, oh, wow, I remember how that feels. That didn't feel good. Like, I used to constantly have an upset stomach, but also just tired.
Yeah.
Just, God, my 40s, I thought I couldn't keep my head off the pillow.
Right.
Really, I was just tired. And it was just mostly what I was putting in my body.
Yep.
Because I was no longer, once you're 30 years old, or really maybe even before then, you don't have youth on your side.
Yeah.
Now you're having to eat like an adult, and there is a time where we have to turn and eat like an adult.
Yeah. I mean, so you've kind of addressed it, and I'll talk about it too. Like, was there over time or a specific time when you really shifted your entire mindset around food, your relationship to it, and how you use food for your mind, for your body, for your soul? Was there a specific time? Because you didn't, other than maybe having like a sugar addiction that you pretty easily stopped, like, did you have to do at any point in your life change the way you really approached food overall?
Yes. And while there were little times where I would catch on, for instance, in the 90s, SnackWells and all those, and people thought that was a great idea not to eat fat, bad idea, you need your fat. But really and truly, it all simultaneously came together when I created Heal Your Tibia Method.
Interesting.
Because I started doing actual research. I had already been certified in, exercise, Pilates and all that, but I hadn't done research into nutrition.
Right.
And when I was researching ways to make your body healthier, because I didn't want to just have a workout that just did one or two or three things, I wanted a full, well-rounded workout. And I knew that nutrition, because I was in my 50s at that point, was very important, because I was watching my body go south.
Right.
And no longer could I eat the things I used to like. And so what am I going to do now? So I remember not liking oily fish, and read all the information on the omega-3s and how important, if you do eat meat, that fish was a really good small oily fish was so good for you. And so I had to force, and I literally do. That's why I eat to live. I made myself learn to like things that I still can't quite love. My sardines, because you see me try them every time.
Yeah, you do.
Every time we get a chance, I try them. But it's still hard for me to eat them. But I am a big fan of other oily fishes, especially salmon. And then I realized the importance of protein, and now, boy, is that trending.
God, right? Well, let's talk about that. Is it trending, or is it true?
It's true. It is trending, and it's true.
interesting.
Just like weightlifting is trending, it's also true. So I'm sorry, y'all. I really have been talking about this for like 20 years.
Since you started, really, that whole diet change when you started the method, also specifically the smoothie.
Yes. And
I mean,
why I did that?
Yeah.
And I read, I can't remember the name of the book. Anyway, I read a lot of information, and I thought, well, you need a lot of grams of protein. And I was trying to figure out how many grams of protein do I want to put in my body. But what I did find out that was researched, and this is what we got to do, is you got to put it in your body first thing in the morning. And I realized I was just not doing that. I was having cereal or nonsense that was just making my blood sugar rise up, drop. I felt like hell, and and then I wanted to eat more.
Exactly.
So the minute I started introducing lean protein into my body in the morning, my whole day turned around.
Right.
And so the smoothie came up with the nutritional things I was reading. I still can't come up with the book, but anyway, I was reading a really great book that I still refer to when I can remember the name of it, is that fats, protein, and then as many phytonutrients, meaning greens or something like that. And I was not a smoothie girl. It's like, don't give me something to drink and call it a meal.
Right.
Give me something to chew on.
Right.
Which is why I have my apple literally every morning, because I need that. But when I discovered put a half an avocado in with 20 grams or 24 grams of protein, and then I added the chia seeds. I got it up to 27 grams of protein.
Right.
And we source a really good pea protein here that is really clean and really good. And we're constantly doing that. We have two different sources here, but the one I prefer is the pea protein. And
I love it.
It's a little lighter.
Yeah, you don't feel like you're getting that whey or that chalk kind of feeling. But you can, whey can be a more complete protein, but also if you're getting protein throughout the day, pea is a great option. And it's not like anything tastes like pea, believe me.
No, it doesn't taste like pea. But here's the thing. So
green peas.
Whatever you're going to do for your morning meal, if it's not the Hilliard Seating Method smoothie, then do something that gives you around 30 grams of protein. And that is hard to get. You're not going to get it with eggs, with 2 or 3 eggs. You're going to need to add. That's why these powders are so great. You can put them in your coffee. I mean, these protein powders.
We did hear something about
I don't believe her.
The heat in the coffee and the collagen or the protein aminos don't really love each other.
We don't know that for sure. I feel like.
Well, then
I feel okay.
You're just cramming it in. Put the collagen in your smoothie.
I just put it in whenever I can.
Yeah.
And when I don't have time to do my smoothie,
yogurt.
I do plain yogurt, lots of chia seeds, and collagen protein. So I'm getting I know I'm getting at least 30, sometimes 35 grams of protein.
Yeah.
And then I add my blueberries or my whatever berries or banana or whatever I want. And it's delicious. It's so good. That's what we get on the road when we're traveling.
Yeah. That's what you get. I know you're a lot more able to stick to a routine. Like you literally for the rest of your life could have an apple and a smoothie and or yogurt for breakfast with berries. No granola, no honey, none of it. Black coffee, cream or sugar, ma'am. No, thank you. No. You could have skirt around. You could pick throughout the day, like just bites of little things.
I can go out in the yard and get some grass.
You could eat grass. So you're eating like little things throughout the day. You're not like me who's like, I need to sit down and have a meal of food and then a healthy dinner and you're done.
You're actually probably more reasonable, much more reasonable than I am. And you're the first person that ever said to me,
it works.
Let's have a meal of food. I'm like, what does that even mean? What do you mean a meal? How about let's have a meal? You're like, let's have a meal of food.
Because what
does that mean?
Because you're a grab and go. Like you are not needing to have the experience of sitting down and going, I enjoy the food. And I've learned that for my mentality, I have to feel like I have been seated, eaten a well-rounded meal, that it's complete. Like we might have a processed protein bar or something. And if you take a bite of mine or whatever, I kind of freak out because I'm like, I need to know that I've had the whole thing or the half of the thing. And it's not an right, wrong, or indifferent. It's not an obsessive controlling thing. It is really just how I have to address food so that I know that I've gotten it. I don't even know how to explain it.
I think you have taught me the beauty of a good meal together. I mean, I love to go and have meals with friends or people, but the meals that you and I have together and the joy you have in cooking and the joy I have in eating it. And you're not going to make anything that's not delicious. And you've since we've been together, I don't think you've ever made anything unhealthy. Ever.
No.
Ever.
No. Now, portion control or
but
you
still,
know,
we're eating
a
real
lot
food,
of calories. We are
real food, and
We
it's
are.
really good. And we're lucky that we can not only afford that, but you have the wherewithal and the time to do it. Not everybody has that, so but we're really lucky there.
And I think what that's addressing too is your different habits. So, you know, when we do eat differently or different styles, I have to watch like what my brain and my body are saying and doing. And I do know that having to sit down or saying a meal of food means you can't just snack and hope to get by, because you're not going to feel satiated or satisfied, and then maybe you're going to overeat. Or just not have like a grasp over, you know, what kinds of foods you've been eating. Was it heavy carb? Was it heavy protein, heavy fat? And so knowing that you function differently than I do.
Well, I function in your world quite well now. I love my meals.
I'm not saying we're different.
Yeah.
You know, it completely works. I'm just saying I think a good tip is to understand that we do all approach and look at food differently. And you got to find a way to keep it in a healthy mindset, because I've struggled with that. And I think, you know, your eating changed when you developed the workout. And I do think mine changed a couple times. When I was a young mother, I know that I was more focused on just like being lean and kind of not worrying so much about the nutrition of the food, and the fuel of the food, but just kind of having enough to get by. And then later, when I wish I'd learned kind of what I know now when my kids were younger, because I think if you have a better well-roundedness of full, real foods going into having young children, you're going to feed them whole, real foods instead of the typical kid foods.
Plus your energy level is going to be a whole lot better.
A whole lot better. And so I didn't really learn that and make a change until later, really, when it was less about being skinny and more about being strong and fueled. And I think that was when
that's
I
what we've
made
got
the
to look
shift.
at. I think that's what we've all got to look at. We might live to eat, but we all need to eat to live, because if we're going to live and be healthy, you know, we were in a seminar the other day and somebody asked, you know, who wants to live to be 100? Nobody raised their hand, but when he asked the question, who wants to live to be 100 and be healthy? Everybody raised their hand. So the only way you can do that, besides, you know, working your body out that you need to do every single day, is to eat well.
Exactly.
And you can't eat well if you're craving things that aren't good for you. So to train your body, just like you train your muscles to work out, we have to learn to eat the right foods.
Yeah.
And everybody's right food is not the same as mine or yours.
That's what I mean, right?
And so as long as you know that source is healthy and you want to get your protein every day. And I'm kind of going to quit saying grams of protein, because I think everybody's different, and people are getting a little obsessed with, I didn't get 100 grams of protein today. And we've said it before on the podcast and we've thrown numbers out. But I think if you're getting the amount of protein that your body is, you're not having those dips in between meals. And also you're seeing your body strengthen as you do your workout, because all of us are strength training now, right? We're doing Hilliard Studio Method or something similar. Then you're going to be okay.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Well, it's just intimidating to watch super fit, gorgeous people with these beautiful kitchens online and be like, this is how I got 114 grams of protein a day. And while that can be helpful and inspiring and pick a meal, like, just focus on getting a little more at each meal, you know?
Making that a central part, that and your vegetables.
I mean, do you think, if you had to pick one piece of this nutrition puzzle, is there one non-negotiable for you when it comes to protein, fat, fiber, complex carbs, hydration? What is it?
Non-negotiable is I'm not going to eat carbohydrates that are not good, healthy carbohydrates. I love, because I get a good balance of carbohydrates with my protein and fats. And so I'm just, I'm not doing it. I'm not eating crappy food. I'm just not.
Yeah.
Now and then I'm going to go to the movies and I'm going to do whatever I want to do, but that is not a regular thing I'm going to do. And because then I would be sick. Then I would be old. Then I would be cooked.
Right.
You know?
Right. So. Well, because I noticed, popcorn used to be one of your big, popcorn, but Not so much.
I've kind of let it. I'm going through a phase, and also just the carbohydrate. It's a good carbohydrate to eat. It's a healthy
fiber.
grain. It's great fiber. Yeah, if you're going to have a snack, get
Better
some
than a
popcorn.
donut.
But we and especially when we're together during the weeks, we'll have instead with our after meal like cheese and an apple or. Yep. Instead of the popcorn now.
And I think that's been a big recent change.
That is, and I see my sleep better because if you can eat protein at night, not heavy protein right before bed.
No.
You know, before you're going to bed at night or a few hours before you go to bed, you're going to sleep better. Well, here's the
they're coming after
down.
You. Finally.
Yeah, but that's a big one. That is
okay.
And then getting your nutrition. This is the other thing as far as supplements that I've learned. We can talk about that if we want to, but I think one change that I've made is having magnesium at night.
Okay.
And that is non-negotiable because I sleep so much better.
Well, let's just stick with the supplements for a minute, and then we have a few last things to round it out. So I think we've both increased supplement use. And so magnesium is one. So there's many different types of magnesium, but magnesium glycinate at night. You also take a different magnesium
during the day
supplement
that I
during
sell
the
right.
day.
We sell right here in the studio, and I really love blanking again because I'm so hungry. Who is?
We use Symbiotica in the studio. You can get it here.
The magnesium that's on the shelves, I take every morning.
Yep.
And I use a different one at night, the glycinate. But then the other non-negotiable thing that I take every single day, besides vitamin C and besides vitamin D, is
glutathione.
Nope. Besides that,
creatine.
Thank you. Boy, I am so hungry. You can tell my brain. You know, your brain does not process when you're starving.
I know. See,
creatine is at least 5 milligrams a day. Thank God it's trending because it's no longer the
Teenage
meathead guy,
in
the gym trying to pump up his biceps. It's really more brain food than anything else. It is your go-to brain food. And boy, do I need some of that right now too. and the whole thing about the myth, like, I got to take this 30 minutes before my workout. I'm sorry, just take it. Take it in the morning, take it at midnight. I don't care what. Take it every day. It's good for you.
We're not doctors, but that's okay.
No, but you know what? Enough already. We're already trying to do too many ridiculous things, jump through too many nutritional hoops. The supplements come and go. Basically, you eat real food, you get your protein, fats, and good carbohydrates, and you're golden.
Good to go.
Yeah.
Are there any other myths out there now? We talked how a little bit things are trending, and some of that is really based in science and true. Is there anything you think women are being told or haven't let go of from 80s, 90s diet culture today?
Yeah, I think everybody still wants to be skinny. And until we get the skinny out of our brains, including myself now and then, I'm like, ooh, I really wish I could slide into those, whatever. We're beating ourselves up and we're pushing ourselves in the wrong direction.
I agree.
I eat to be healthy, and some days I'm a little heavier than others, which is the reason I don't have a scale in my house. It's just, you know your body more than your doctor knows your body, more than anybody on the planet knows your body, and you know what makes you feel good.
Yep.
And if you're putting things in your body that make you feel bad, you're going to change your ways, unless you're really trying to be mean to yourself.
I mean, we've talked about this a lot, but as it continues, Ozempic or any of the GLP-1s to be very positive for weight.
Oh, it's great for so many people.
Loss, maybe for inflammation. Like there's still, time to tell how many wonderful things this kind of drug can do, because we do have an obesity epidemic in this world. I also am seeing it just pendulum swing really far the other direction, and that mindset of just being skinny. So I can't say enough already about yes, do it, and let it be a healthy guiding tool to all your numbers and your blood work being better and yourself feeling better, and also supplement that with strength training, because I just don't want people's bones to turn to chalk.
I don't either. And I keep seeing on Instagram and some TikTok. I don't do a lot of TikTok, but Instagram is my game. And there's a lot of, and I do follow a lot of women strength trainers that are not quite my age, 50 and 60-year-olds, and they're getting skinnier and skinnier and skinnier. And it's bothering me, it's bothering me a little bit. I'm like, calm it down a little bit. And and they're saying they're microdosing and doing, and that's great. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Just
correct.
Pay attention. Don't get too small.
I know.
It is good for, microdosing can be great for, like you just said, inflammation. I don't know. But we're not doctors on this.
I know. It's like an interesting body of dysmorphia that I'm trying to keep an eye on, because constantly every day we see bodies come into this studio, and I get really concerned about seeing hip bones and collarbones and back bones, and I don't know if people see it, and it's like, whew, wow. I mean, I know I've been at different places in my life that when you do get to a certain point of skinny, it feels so good. Yeah. You want to keep going. Yeah. And that's
where you
shift.
got to take it, get a friend. If you're going to do the microdosing and things, we're not saying that's wrong. We're just saying, have someone that gives you
honest feedback.
And also, please be honest with yourself. Your body will tell you, does this feel right?
Yeah.
My body tells me everything I need to know. Your body never lies to you at all.
I mean, can you get through the day and do all the things you need to do, feeling strong and satisfied and healthy? Then yes.
Yeah. And maybe you lost 5 pounds and you feel great, and that's great. And you didn't need to, you didn't know you need to lose them. But then pay attention, My non-negotiable carbohydrates, listen to your body and eat real food.
Eat real food, baby. That's always the moral of the story.
And I know
it's tricky. Yeah, we can go get you some food. I know it's tricky. If you need help, reach out. If you need somebody that you do want to talk to or can be an honest guide, then reach out.
Yeah, and I want to say this too, and I just thought about where I am. I'm in my studio. When you need a snack like I do right now, which is just sort of an energy boost, I'm going to go get one of our little protein hearts. And it's protein and fat. And it gives, they're like, I don't know what they are, 50 calories or something a heart. And we get them at
Green Brothers. Local studio.
And I'm going to go get one of those, and I'm going to pump myself up and feel better.
Up, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, you guys.
Love you, baby.
Love you too.
Okay,
see
bye.
Ya. Thanks for listening to us today, wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, you can now find our podcast on YouTube.
Yeah. If you liked it, please share, rate, and review. We love 5 stars. And we hope you'll work out with us online or in studio at HilliardStudioMethod.com.